Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Tony Talks Cards. Nearing video number 10 here in my really early YouTube channel journey. So thank you all for viewing and joining. And again, if you like the video, click like. If you like what you're hearing, the topics, the comments, love to have you subscribe to the channel as well. And leave a comment. If something I talk about relates to you, you have a memory of this, or just want to interact and learn more about my collection, my journey, love to talk to you more. So again, welcome to this next video. So I have a hoodie on. It is cold in Arizona. Not related to cards, of course, but it's cold, and cold for us is in the 60s and 70s. So again, just shows you relative. We have those 120-degree summers, but when it turns 60, 70, we pull out the warm winter clothes. So, but again, not stopping us from talking about cards today. So what we are going to be talking about is cards. Obviously, Tony Talks Cards is the name of the channel, but a unique type of card this time. I think I alluded to this or talked about it in my like of these cards on a prior video, but it's the checklist cards. So most Topps, Fleer, Donruss sets of the era, right back when I collected in the 70s and 80s and 90s, they had checklist cards. Now, before the internet, we had paper price guides, we had Beckett grading guides, price guides. Other distributors gave thoughts on prices once a year, but those price guides also had a checklist. So if I was collecting a set from whatever year, I mean, it's good to know for me. Does the set have 528 cards like it did many in the 70s and 80s for Topps football? Or did it have 132 or 176 like they did in the 60s and 50s for some sets as well? Right? The more the set is, the more packs you've got to buy, the harder to collect. And again, I enjoy the collecting of it. I'm naturally a set builder. I want to build sets, runs, things that go together. If there's four things that all go together, I want all four. If there's five, I want all five. So with a checklist, if there's, in my case, in the Topps football era in the 80s, if there's 528 cards or 396 cards, and some of those are checklist cards, I want to know what those cards are and buy all the cards. So checklists themselves, right? They aren't a Hall of Famer. They aren't the star. They aren't all-star, all-pro cards. And frankly, as a kid, maybe most kids, you see a checklist, maybe I'm looking for somebody else. I can't trade a checklist. Maybe I'll mark it up, right? If it's on the front of a rack pack, I want one with a star showing. A checklist is boring. It shows people's names, but it's not showing action. It's not showing a player in his uniform or the Hall of Fame player you're looking for. So, but for me, wanting sets and runs and having that completeness mindset, which goes with my collecting early on at least, and still today, checklists were important. And so probably 15 years ago when I got back into collecting the first time, maybe 15, 17 years ago, I looked back at my old sets. All the old sets were in plastic binders or plastic pages in binders, three-ring binders. And they're in pages from, back in the 80s and 90s, which didn't really hold up that well. But I looked through them, flipped through them, saw the Hall of Famers, saw my favorite players, and it brought back tons of memories. And at least in the Topps football of the 80s, at least the mid to late 80s, the checklist were the last three cards in the set. Usually 394, 395, 396. And then in the early 80s, they were spread, I think, throughout the various sets, not just all in one place. And even in some cases, team cards had checklists on the back. So a Bears team card, a Chiefs team card. On the back, it would have the 10, 12, 20 cards of that team with a little box that was not filled in yet that you could check off if you had your favorite team and wanted to complete that set within that Topps set for the year. Me being a set builder, a completionist type person, and actually now my full-time job, I work in finance and I'm a CPA. I enjoy the rules, the checklists, the doing the things, the 5 steps to do X, the 10 steps to do Y, whatever that is. So for me, checklists were a way to look over, make sure I had done all the steps. And so I found that, of course, in my second, third, fourth, fifth grade mindset, I got a checklist. I'm writing on it. I checked it off. I filled in the box. And I'm buying one pack at a time, 2 packs at a time, maybe more packs. around birthday and Christmas with more money I may have gotten as a gift. But I'm checking them off one at a time. Open the pack, 15 cards. Which ones do you need? Check off that checklist for that player, and then put it back in the page or put it back in the box, and there you go. Now I know what I need. I don't have to go and check some online database. I know with that card, here's what I have. And so that's probably kind of long-winded for what this video is going to be about. But I found the old checklist that I checked when I was in grade school that I kept. I didn't throw them away. Now I did upgrade them. I did get better checklists probably 15 years ago, bought them off eBay or some other manner to fill in my original sets I built, but to replace those 3 marked checklists with a non-checked one. So here's just a few things I want to show off of my checked checklists, I guess, and show them to you here. Maybe talk about a few memories of them, and then we'll sign off here. So here, first one I have, and funny, it's not the 78 tops, which I've talked about before. Maybe I threw those out or don't have them anymore. I couldn't find them. So the first 3 I found were 1979 Topps football. Again, blue background. These, funny enough, you can probably maybe kind of see, they are checked off. It looks like all uniform blue or black pen. Front and back is checked off too. This one again has a big slash of a pen right down the middle. I guess I completed all those, got all those cards and said, hey, I'm going to slash it right top to bottom, and that means that those items are checked off and done. So kind of interesting there. The back was, again, more yellow, all checked off there too. Now the third checklist, for some odd reason, or I guess, yeah, the third one, I guess, I don't have, is not checked off. So not sure why that is. I definitely completed the set, definitely bought it, but maybe I decided against my better nature to just leave it clean and not check it off. But again, kind of funny to see how I wrote on all of them to check off I had them. And actually here is one of the last ones too, it looks like. That one is more checked off there too, both front and back. Moving on to 1980. So 1980 had 528 cards in the set. I'll just show these real quick. These are the 4 checklists that I had. All of them front and back are checked off. Again, uniform, blue or black pen. A funny story about this, I guess I'll share when I get to the 81s, which is right here. Here are the 481 checklists I have. Again, lots of blue or mostly black pen, box by box, person by person checked off, with the little kind of slash and extra pen mark on the top, especially some indentations on this checklist. I was trying to write, looks like with a dry pen, and made an indentation on the top of the card, but found a new pen probably and finished my checking off there. So with 81 and actually 79, 80, 81, and 82, I bought those 5, 6, 7 years after from a local card store. Now I was in grade school. I didn't buy them. My dad bought them for me. But the story that always comes back to me when I see these checklists and these sets is that back in that time, my allowance was not enough to cover buying one set all in one drop. So my dad bought the sets from the store, say they were $50, one of them, just to make it easy math. And there are 528 cards in some of those sets, or 396 later in the 80s. We take $50, divide by 528 to make the math somewhat easy here, and that's about 10 cents a card, if my math is correct. So he would keep the box in the closet in their bedroom, and as my allowance money came in, did the chores, got birthday money, Christmas money, whatever the case is, I could buy those cards for 10 cents each, because that was the average rate per card. Paying $50 for the set, divided by 528, it's 10 cents, give or take. So I'd buy them one by one, not the star cards first, not the rookies first, not the all pro cards or the Bears team first. I bought them one by one from number 1 to number 528. And so that's a very strong memory with buying, especially the 81 set I did that. So in that case, the Montana rookie, although it was in the late 80s, was worth 10 cents, but so was the other common right next to him at number 215, because he was number 216, I think, in that set. So kind of funny memory there. But again, every week I would buy 10, 20 cards with my allowance. I'd pull out the checklist right away, take the blue or black pen, fill it out for those 10, 20 cards, put that back, and then wait till next week. So again, kind of fun memory there. 82 tops. Looks like we have 4 checklists too. These were orange. Again, bought this as a full set as well, and then bought the cards, 5 cents, 10 cents each, all checked off, which is good. 83 for some reason. I don't know if I had kind of an insight to something, but these aren't checked off. So maybe I have checked off checklists somewhere and just forgot to, or they're long gone to who knows where, but those weren't. But now 84 and 85 and 86, where I started collecting packs, like real-time packs myself. I'd buy them, whatever they were, 25, 50 cents each back in the day, open the cards up in the pack and check them off randomly as I got them in the packs, right? So again, 84 tops, all filled out there. I do like 85 tops. This little bit of a story on these too, I guess, is you kind of see these checklists. You can kind of see there's different pen mark on some of them. Even this one on the back has some red, blue, maybe some black pen. And that's kind of cool because the red pen marks are probably the ones I got on the same day that I found a red pen, and the red pen was all I could find to check off the checklist. Whereas maybe the black and the blue ones were from a different day when there was a black or blue pen laying around, easy to find. So kind of cool to think about the story and kind of which cards came in what time frame, I guess. 86 Topps football. Again, we're down to 396 cards as of, I think, 1984, 83, I think. So 3 checklists, not 4 like the earlier cards where I was showing. But again, I'll show you the first one here. They're all checked off. But again, this shows the Bears team players from 86 Topps, and you can see different color check marks being used, or at least filling in the boxes were used. So again, looks like I got the Super Bowl 20 card in 86 Topps and had a red pen nearby. And actually, the funny story with this one, I do want to maybe highlight this just a bit more here. If you can see, there's one that's not checked off. You can see number 10, the Jim McMahon card, is not checked off. I didn't notice that till right now. That card, I know, was the last card I needed to fill in my 86 Topps set back when I was doing that in 87, 88, whenever that was. I found that in the local card shop in a bin of loose 86s the owner had, probably from opening packs he had, or folks, cards someone brought in to sell or trade and needed that one card, Jim McMahon number 10. And again, 86 Topps shows off the 85 Bears, Super Bowl 20 champions, and I got it. So it's kind of funny that I didn't check off that checklist saying I got it, because I know I have it. I still have that card and that entire set from 86. So again, kind of funny story with that, with 86. And then 87, I again decided to be a little more dramatic, I guess, with my completion of my sets. So here you can see there's a big line from kind of top left to bottom right once I finished up the set, filled in all the boxes, did a big pen mark down the middle, like a slash, and actually did that on all of these checklists for some odd reason. But again, some blue, some black, some different ink. So yeah, no, I mean, checklists are not the most exciting things out there. If you see them on tops of rack packs, solo packs, it's kind of I'd rather have an all-star, an all-pro, my favorite team. But for me, and this is all again before the internet, and I had annual price guides I would buy, the checklist was a way for me and probably others to know how hard to complete this set was it, or who was I missing? Who were the rookies and the stars in the set? Because some sets didn't have players who were playing. They just didn't make the cut, or maybe there was a contract dispute between Topps and the manufacturer and the player. So not every year was the same. And so for me, I found these and thought it'd be an interesting video to show you all kind of a real history of what I was doing, what I was collecting, and what I found interesting back in those late 80s time frames in grade school. So again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, you can find me at Tony Talks Cards on YouTube. Just me starting out this journey. Thank you for your support, the feedback, the questions, the comments. If you like it, I'd love to have you click on like and subscribe to the channel too if you like what you're seeing as well. So until next time, we'll talk to you later.